Hey partner, I'm Barry, your pocket crew chief, the very first AI-powered mechanic for sim racing. Got a car that's a little loose or tight? Just tell me how it's handling, and I'll whip up instant setup recommendations just for you. Want me to get even more precise? Snap a picture of your setup, and I'll fine-tune it to perfection. And hey, I'm not just about giving orders. I'll explain why every adjustment matters, so you can really understand your ride. I'll even teach you the science behind the setup. Ever wonder why the track bar is so important? I've got the answer. With Pocket Crew Chief, I'll make you smarter, faster, and race ready. So what are we waiting for? Let's build to win.
Fellas, go have a good day today. Like I said, load all the fans, and thank you guys for coming out. We got a great crowd today. Everybody listen at home.
If you push, I'm defiant.
Everybody enjoy the race.
It is bound to get violent when you walk this way.
Do it. All four tires face the same direction at the end of this thing. Ready? Green, 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 green. Good, baby. Put the pressure on that little. You know what? You get him. Crash behind you. Just past halfway, bud. Just past halfway. A lot of racing to go. Take care of your stuff. That car up there is your next spot. Hit him. Yeah, man, let him come to you. Don't push him. White flag, nice and smooth. Checker flag.
If it's Wednesday, that means it's the Stand Up Fight Invitational Series with the Slingshot Racing League. Welcome, everybody. I'm Logan Threlkeld, and joining me in the Slingshot TV booth, we have Sal Nicosia, with producer Kobe Jordan behind the scenes, keeping us rolling, keeping the cameras on the coverage. And we're going to bring it to you all live right here on Slingshot. Sal, how are you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm excited to be here. I cannot believe we're going to go racing tonight here at Michigan. It is going to be something special in these cars. I'm excited. It's my first week here and really looking forward to the racing.
It is going to be a blast. The practice session has already proved that. Middle of qualifying right now, but as you mentioned, we are kicking it off in style with the clash at Michigan International Speedway. And we're going to have a lot of really good drivers out here in this Gen 4 NASCAR. You know, we're throwing it back a little bit to those early 2000s, late 90s cars, but you know, that's some of the prime time for NASCAR and just racing overall. This offseason is over and the rust is coming off. Tonight, it's all about that raw speed, bold moves, and setting the tone for the year. With that said, you know, there's a little bit of history with this track. It's buried up there in the Irish hills of Michigan, just about 40 miles outside of Detroit. And it's actually designed by the same guy who made up the idea of Daytona. So there's a lot of connection there between these two tracks. We've got the 2-mile D-shaped track here in Michigan. So it's pretty quick. That's all you can really say about it. But let's see. Let's pull up that race analysis here, Kobe, and talk about what we've got on the board. Sal, take it away.
Yeah, we've got some keys to victory and stories to watch here tonight. There's going to be a lot of stiff competition out here on the track. This track built for speed. These cars up to the task for sure. New vehicle jitters, something that every driver goes through behind the wheel, maybe for the first time or back behind the wheel of for the first time in a long time. These Gen 4 cars have changed recently through iRacing updates and are relatively new to the service. So if you're not comfortable here, jitters could be in an all-time high. Running the right line, a crucial point on any track, but here at Michigan, you really have to pay attention to where you're going to be, how you're going to use your equipment, and how much you'll abuse that equipment throughout the race. And that leads us into the final point, stories to watch, the risk versus reward factor. It's just a part of racing, but means just a little more here at Michigan. Easy to stick your nose or slide your bumper out just a little bit, looking for that speed at this track. Notorious for being 3 wide at times when risk comes into play. How much reward does it pay? We'll find out here in just a little bit.
I like that little rhyme there you got with it. One good thing to note of here as well is we do have one fast repair on the night. So those pre or new car jitters and that risk reward situation opens up some doors. We might see a little bit bolder of a move get made than what we might with no fast repairs available. But let's take it to our national anthem real quick, and then we should be right back and getting right into the grid and the start of this clash at Michigan.
Ready, set, let's go. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. There's nothing you can do to stop it. I've been on the way up cause I know I'm popping. Hits, no misses. Clean up like the dishes. Ain't no point telling me to stop cause I won't listen. Every level got a new devil. I'ma give him hell cause I don't know better. I'm a born winner. I'm going all the way up. There's nothing you can do to make me ever give up. Let's go. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up, going all the way up. I'm getting close. I can taste it. I'm going up like a spaceship. I'm shaking the ground. I'm making it loud. I go to work when nobody's around. It's time to get it. It's time to go. It's time to shine. It's my time to blow.
And we are back ready to go here at Michigan, getting through the last bit of the warm-up session, but our grid has been set. We'll get right to that as they'll start getting set up here in about 20 seconds. Sal, what are your thoughts about Michigan?
Like you said, I mean, this is one of these tracks that just absolutely bleeds speed. This is a place that you cannot go into unprepared, especially in a car like the Gen 4 that generates so much horsepower. We saw even in the warm-up sessions, there were drivers that were pushing the limits, and that's what they'll have to do to get ahead here tonight.
Yeah, Michigan is known for being one of, if not the fastest, 2-mile oval in the circuits. It's just so fast down the backstretch. With these cars, we're going to see upwards of 190, 195 miles an hour down the backstretch into turn 3, and just as fast across the front stretch into turn 1. So it's going to be just high speed all night long for these 50 laps. And we are ready to see who we have setting the pole tonight. It's going to be the 28 of Chris Smith taking on that number 1 spot next to Aaron Smith in the 70, that banana machine. He pretty well ends up on that first row more times than not. Row number 2, that 91 of Rye Jones starts out in third next to the 52 of Johnny Rapp. Behind them, row number 3, Justin Wilson in the 58 starts out in 5th next to Ryan Rose in the 78. Row 4, Scotty Sobzak in the 81 starts out in 7th next to the 56 of Jacob Phillips. Row 5 will be Robert Brobst in the 9th position with the 5 machine next to the 84 of Laura Wiseman. Last but not least, row 6 will be James Danforth in the 88 next to Braxton DeWeese in the 8. Row 7 will be Tom Lickard in the 99 next to Brian Brobst in the 11 and 14th. Row 8, Jay Heisman in the 06 next to Steve Vest in the 60. Row number 9, Peter Stewart in the 9 machine starting out in 17th next to Ryan Hinkle in the 21. Row 10, we have Dan Berg in the 17 machine next to Jay Leach in the 2. Last but not least, at the back of the pack, it's Paul Thomas rounding out our 21-car field to take on Michigan in the Clash. Coming down the back stretch, got some drivers getting their tires warmed up. Now, we were talking about it there during that short commercial break, Sal. The tires might not be quite as much of a premium. These cars, although 800-plus horsepower in this Gen 4 setup, they're really going to focus on the right rear tire. That's how you want to drive this car, is off of that right rear. But we'll take a look as they are coming around turns 3 and 4, ready to start this one off, ready to get the new season going. And there's no better words in racing. Coming to the Geico restart zone for the first time this season, Chris Smith will lead us to the green flag, and away we go at Michigan. It's a dead even start all the way down into turn 1. Aaron Smith holding on to the outside line. Johnny Rapp holding on to the outside line in row 2. Rye Jones sticking it down to the bottom near contact with our leaders. Oh. There goes the 78. He's around already out of turn 2.
Like we said, risk versus reward, just a little bit of contact there sent the 78 pinballing down onto the apron there on the backstretch. Thankfully, a lot of asphalt down there to catch him. Hopefully not too much damage to that car as we get the replay pulled up.
It's going to be missing that front bumper there, so that'll be likely the first fast repair of the night. Oh, just gets hooked. I believe that's the 58 there on the inside, maybe the 56 of Jacob Phillips. It's either Phillips or Justin Wilson. I didn't get a good look at the number, but just not enough room for either one of those drivers. Keep an eye to see what race control decides that one as, who might be at fault for it. Could very well just be a racing incident, though.
Yeah, really interesting to see that, I believe it was the 58 car, just kind of jump out of line. I'm not sure if there's any kind of track condition back there that would have caused him to lose it, or if there's any kind of reason behind that. But it looked like he just kind of jumped up to the right there, the 78 in his line. Really unfortunate. Nowhere to go. Like you said, though, using that first fast repair. So like we talked about earlier in the broadcast, risk versus reward. That 78 car is going to really have to risk it and be careful about how far he wants to push that tonight.
Running at the back of the pack after he gets that damage repaired. You know, it might be a good call to hang out back there for a little while. Wait until we get a little bit deeper into this race. We're going to have a couple other drivers elect to bring it down pit road as well. So maybe topping off with fuel, a little bit of an idea there, but very early to be making that call unless you just want to be at the back of the field. It gives you plenty of time to react to something that happens way up towards the front, like what we just saw. That was, you know, Rye Jones was around the 6th or 7th position at that time. So, you know, it's going to be fierce up at the front.
If you're not in first to avoid that wreck, being out back isn't a bad second option either. But definitely, you know, not to put the commentator's curse, but with speeds like this at a track like this, you know, that yellow flag gets pulled out of the bag probably more than these drivers will want to see it tonight.
Hope for a good green flag run, though. That's a very short lap count up there on the top left. We mentioned it once before. 50 laps on the night. That's only 100 miles here. This 2-mile D-shaped oval. It's going to go by quick. Lap times are typically sub 40 seconds, you know, under green flag racing. So the pace laps will obviously extend that. We're looking at about 1 minute and 20 seconds. We're also cruising around here at about 70 miles an hour. So that, it just shows you what these cars can do, really, to hold on to 170, 180 mile an hour through the corner. These Gen 4s are set up well for this track, or this track is set up well for these Gen 4s.
It's a marriage made in heaven between these cars and this track, and how fast you can really get these things rolling. Just the competition level and just the shape of these cars too. There's not a lot of room for error, right? So if you're behind somebody and you're trying to give them the bump or give them the little shimmy shake, it is more of a risk than in other body styles of Cup car, which makes this choice unique here tonight, and in this series unique in general, that there's that much less margin for error between the competitors. So we'll see as things continue here.
And that's one thing to note, too, is we'll have some of those drivers. I know there's emotions carrying over from last season that might hold some grudges coming into this season. And these cars, they don't take the bumps like they used to. So if you're going to try to move somebody potentially, you're at a higher risk in this chassis of actually taking yourself out. So you have to be very methodical about it and how you want to approach. You know, if you want to move the guy in front of you, or if you just want to make a good racing move and get around him naturally. We'll find out as this series progresses, as this race progresses. We're back in turn 3 and 4. Aaron Smith will be in control this time. He's elected for that top line. Chris Smith will still hold the bottom. Not a whole lot of movement throughout the field. Rye Jones, Johnny Rapp still in row 2. Scotty Sobczyk, Jacob Phillips in row 3. To the Geico restart zone for the first restart of the race, in control of the yellow car on top, and away we go. Part number 2. A big jump coming from that top line. Aaron Smith able to get completely out ahead as Rye Jones picking up on that draft as best as he can. He's going to get nearly clear of Chris Smith, but not quite enough. He'll have the momentum off that top line coming down the backstretch to do it, though.
Yeah, and everyone's sorting it out here, single file, one by one, for the time being. Everybody mind their P's and Q's after a caution like that. As we see the speed start to pick up, these cars getting up to how fast they're going to run here. So far, so good out here.
We're going to see how this progresses. We've got a couple different lines being used. Our top 3 moving down to the bottom across the front stretch. Then our second 3, that's 4th, 5th, and 6th place, electing to stay on the tops. So that could cause issues if, you know, somebody gets a big run generated here. Somebody just went sliding down to the apron coming off of turn 2. Not across the nose. Nobody else collected. I think he actually ends up saving it. I believe maybe that was possibly the aid of DeWeese. I didn't catch the number again. That back stretch is so hard to see the numbers on the side of the car.
Yeah, it's a long back stretch, and these cars get strung out in a long, long line, so it's easy to kind of lose track of them as they go along. Keeping my eye here on the 56, Jacob Phillips, running a great race, but trying to pick a different line, I think, than the rest of the field here. And it's been interesting because we talked about that a little bit in the keys to success there early on. In how can you preserve that tire and ride that right rear? That 56 car is searching around for exactly where he's comfortable right now.
And you're going to see that in the early runnings of the race. It's all about finding the groove. What works best for you? How can you maximize your lap times and still navigate the traffic? Nearly contact to the right rear. That 11 gets sent down to the apron. We're getting squirrely coming off of turn 2. It's getting consistent. The dirty air being a big factor off of that corner. It's not getting enough downforce on the nose. That rear, that spoiler not picking up enough air to keep the rear tires underneath the car. So as the race progresses there with the extra tire wear, it's going to be a handful coming off of turn 2. Turn 3 is a lot more, or turn 4 rather, is a lot more smooth in my opinion, as we're nearly 3 wide. Johnny Rapp stuck in the middle. Brian Brobst looks to the outside. We've got I believe the 88 of James Danforth looking to the inside, gets back to double file.
Everyone able to keep it rolling there. That was close as the 5, the 81, the 11, the 52. Everybody looking for a little bit of ground there, peeking out, trying to see what works as that 11 car looking to make a move here now on Brian Brobst. He'll get underneath of him here. Might elect the spot there on the exit. No, they'll go side by side.
Brobst gets extremely loose off of 2. Looked like he was trying to set up for a run around the outside of Braxton Deweese, but couldn't quite keep the tires going forward. And he's sliding down in turns 3 and 4, slides up in front, nearly into the wall. So the 5 struggling to find the grip now.
It's about that time, right? Lap 11 of 50 right here. Might start to feel that tire wear or the track digging in just a little bit as they're running around in traffic around these other competitors. Something we mentioned too earlier is the shape of this car, but the aerodynamics of this car too. When you talk about trying to make a move on somebody or running side by side really closely, you can take the air off of somebody in a totally different way than traditionally these modern Cup cars run. So as we see guys get really close and the parameters get tighter and tighter here in this race, not always about contact, but just about close racing, that can change the whole outlook for some drivers.
These cars are very susceptible to getting air packed on the back bumper, and then again that left rear quarter panel. You'll see, some of the drivers that are able to hold it right there on their competitors, just like what we see right now from the 81 of Sobczyk. That's about exactly where you want to be, just a little bit closer up to the 5. You can get that back end to kick out sideways, and then they're going to lose all their momentum on that top line. You have to hope that somebody's not behind, but it could very well end up taking you out too. So it's something you have to be extremely careful of.
Yeah, and as they're looking to make those moves, you see the 88 and the 11 still waiting in the wings as the 11 gets loose there coming off a turn 2.
Sobczyk got loose as well on the inside of Brobst, so he's going to lose that position to James Danforth. The 88 moves up to 6th place. Still not a lot of movement up towards the front. Aaron Smith holds control. Rye Jones in 2nd. Braxton Deweese holds down 3rd. Chris Smith has fallen back to 4th. But he is still side by side with Deweese for that 3rd position. The scramble is on back behind. And it's getting closer and closer, if you notice that, Sal. Just every lap we go, these drivers are really starting to push the limits of how close they can get to the competitor on the outside.
Well, it's the first race of the season. There's no time like the present to see just how far you can not just push these machines, but these drivers are going to push each other to see where they can run amongst one another in the pack. It'll reflect not just tonight in this race, but as the season moves forward. Oh, as the 81 there gets up into the wall just a little bit, pushing it a little bit too far as he tests the limits.
You know, finding that fine line of how you can drive the car, how the car is reacting to the track surface. You know, it's not a scorcher out there. We're starting the season off pretty chill. It's only 93 degrees on the track surface here in Michigan, so very ideal conditions for utilizing that high line as we've got side-by-side for the lead. Rye Jones to the outside of Aaron Smith. Aaron Smith is going to get a big push from the inside. Braxton Weiss is all over that back bumper coming down the front stretch. Jones doing a great job holding on. He's going to get some speed coming off of turn 2, and he should get clear of that 70 machine before we see turn 3. I don't think Aaron Smith is going to have room to slide up to that top line. Braxton Weiss closes that door. Chris Smith makes a big lunge to the inside. Brian Brobst in that Kellogg's 5 machine still holding on to that top line right behind DeWeese. And look at this pack right here. They are so tight.
You could throw a blanket over these guys now. We talked about how far you can push the limit. We're pushing it. Oh, as the 5 gets down there, almost gets into that 81 car briefly,
What a
but
save.
not enough. Yeah, not enough to send anybody around. Saves it and continues. That was almost something to see there.
Sounds like the 5 machine reacting to some cars just ahead. Had to lift out of it, so that'll be another challenge there. If you have to lift out of the throttle, even get onto the brakes at all in the corners, it sounds like that car is going to lose traction and do exactly what we just saw there. So learning experience here for the first race. That's what it's all about. As Brobe sticks it up high to the wall, but it's side by side for P3.
And Brobst, it's not the worst time in the world to have something like that happen. We're still a few laps here before the halfway mark. Still plenty of time to rebound and come back from a little bit of a slip and a slide there as we see him look for that high line there, maybe looking for some more speed around the rim. I'll tell you what, that's 70 of Aaron Smith. You know, battling side by side for only a little bit there, a half a lap or a lap or so. He's established that lead again and is back out running.
Aaron Smith, not one that likes to dilly-dally whenever it comes to those battles. It's either coming from behind, getting around somebody as fast as possible, or exactly what we saw there. Gets challenged, and then it's time to put some separation between myself and that driver. Ryan Jones doing a great job of keeping the pressure applied and filling up that rearview mirror of Aaron Smith. Close back there battle with Brobst and the 11. That's the brothers. Brian Brobst and Robert Brobst back there nearly getting into each other.
Oh, it's the 81.
Oh, the 81. Hard into the wall goes Sobzik.
That will bring out the second caution of the night. What an impact that had. Looks like they were just running side by side there as we get the replay pulled up here on Slingshot TV. Oh, yeah, the 11 there just running flat out. Maybe the 81 getting a little bit loose and just gets collected a little bit sideways and up and into the wall. Gets ping-ponged around there, too, on the bottom of the track by another car. And
let's see if we can get a onboard with the 11 there. I think there might have been some assistance into the corner. That sure looks like it. Looks like he got tagged right on the right rear bumper. We can take it back just a little bit further there. We'll see on the limiter as we get down into turn 1. Just a little bit of a touch there on the right rear.
Yeah, just a little bit is all it takes. Looks like he was coming up off the throttle there to start his entry into the corner, but 81 coming down, the 11 staying high. One of those racing deals. These guys will learn how each other race and move on from it as they continue throughout the year here. But unfortunate, thank goodness for that fast repair as the field comes down pit lane right now.
All going to bring it down. The only one staying out is going to be the 56 of Jacob Phillips. So an interesting call there coming from that crew. See how that one pays off. 22 laps so far completed. He has not seen the pits at all. So this is going to be a big disadvantage. He'll be in control of the restart, but it's going to be tire spin city on that front row. We're going to have a set of cold tires on a set of old tires, as Aaron Smith will be the first one off pit road. I think DeWeese might have gotten ahead of Rye Jones for the third spot, so he should be starting on the inside line. Looks like he will. Jacob Phillips will take us to control. Aaron Smith, Braxton DeWeese, Rye Jones, Justin Wilson, Robert Bropes, Peter Stewart, Chris Smith, Ryan Rose, and Laura Wiseman will make up our top 10 on this restart.
Yeah, that is a very courageous move there by the 56 of Jacob Phillips, choosing to stay out. It is going to be a freight train coming behind him, depending on how much he used up his equipment in that last run. There is certainly a strategy play to make up track position, even if you do not retain the lead, just staying in the mix until the next opportunity to come down pit lane presents itself. And for that 56 of Jacob Phillips, he's hoping it's sooner than later after sticking around up front here. See if that call plays off as he's following the pace car.
I believe might be coming to the one to go. Yes, we are. That's going to be double filed back up. Jacob Phillips elects for the outside line. I think that's the right call indeed.
Sure.
Aaron Smith will be in control of the bottom line, but again, Phillips has control of the flag drop. So that's going to be oh so important for the 56. It gives him time to try to wind up the car without getting too much wheel spin, but it's going to take a lot of effort. 22 laps here, 23 laps rather. A couple under caution, and although he might not have been pushing as hard as he possibly could in that first run, we still have a lot of laps on these tires, so we're looking at quite a big difference.
It's going to take a lot of patience from Rye Jones there behind him on that top line. You might see him be a little bit more careful than he would normally be on a restart here, as he knows that Jacob Phillips is dealing with some older tires.
Phillips might be coming down. The pace car lights are back on. Not too sure why. I think I saw maybe one or two drivers still trying to catch up to the back half of the field down the backstretch, but we're going to go around one more time. Keep an eye on the 56. He's moved down towards the bottom of the track, and now below the yellow, indicating he will bring it down unless he's going for the fake. He stays out. He does fake us out.
Not sure how many he thought he was going to get to go. Maybe he's just trying to save the tire temp there on the flat instead of being up on the grade of the track. But something I wanted to point out real quick too, the 78 of Ryan Rose was involved in that very early lap 2 incident. Used his fast repair early, come down pit road. Now sitting in 9th place. So talked about it a little earlier. Back in the top 10 for that 78 car after that early incident, biding his time, being patient, and will put himself in a position here to be competitive.
But also had to be very weary. This is about where he was before he saw that wall, and then ultimately the back of the pack. So, you've used up that fast repair. That's got to be in the back of your mind for the rest of the race. You have to be very selective on where you try to go. Try to retain some memory from last season and about, the drivers and who you can trust to be around, what they're going to do. Are they predictable? Are they consistent? It's all factors that start running through your mind whenever you've used that one and only faster pair. Ryan Groves in a tough spot right in the middle of the pack for this restart. We're going to see Jacob Phillips on that top line, Aaron Smith on the bottom, Bryson Weiss and Ryan Jones side by side for row 2, Justin Wilson, Robert Probst in row 3. To bring us to the start of lap 25, the pace car is off, and Phillips will take the green flag, and a little bit of a spin it looks like. He goes up high, he's opening up that door to the middle. We might see 3 wide down into turn 1 right off the rip. It's offset, but there it is. That's DeWeese sending it to the bottom.
Very smart there, though, by Jacob Phillips, knowing that he was going to spin those tires. He did succeed in picking up that track position, but knowing that he wasn't quite quick enough to stay at the front. But he's got contenders behind him. Robert Probst now wants to make the move as that 56 car looks like it's a little bit slower. Staying up to the high side there. 3 wide there for a moment as they get around. He'll continue to fall back here. The 78 and the 9. Oh, no.
Peter Stewart goes for a spin through the grass, but no contact with the wall yet. Oh, there we go. Stopped it. That is a healthy race car. That is the type of recovery that you like to see going through the grass.
Absolute masterclass in wall avoidance here. 78 there. Coming up the track. Just catches the left rear. This car looks to be wrecked, but he keeps it on the grass for the most part. Never even touches that wall. Look at that. Peter Stewart. Round of applause for that save. His tires might be screaming, but that car will stay in one piece and he'll head back out on the racetrack.
The good thing is most of his slide was through the grass, so those tires might not need replaced. We'll keep an eye on Stewart, see if he visits pit road here. He's at the back of the pack now. He has caught up, and he is going to stay out, so we are all good to go. We do have one bringing it down pit road. It's the 56 of Phillips. So he's going to elect to bring it down for those fresh Goodyear tires after that restart not quite going the way he was hoping, but it will give him about a 5-lap advantage on the tires. Now, granted, it's really only about 2 laps of green flag racing as he does miss the box. He's got to get readjusted. Luckily, though, not under green, so he's going to be in the same spot either way, right at the back of the pack for the restart.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of advantage that little bit of extra tire gives him as they get later on into the run here.
I couldn't imagine too much of an advantage, but it all depends on how well he can save it and how hard these drivers up at the front of the field want to battle. There's a lot of factors here in seeing that 56 back at the front of the field this time.
Yeah, we saw a lot of risk taking there on that restart, side by side, and then 3 wide is definitely something you're taking a chance, just getting into the halfway mark here at lap 27 here under caution. But interesting to see how hungry, as these drivers watch the laps tick away, how hungry they get to make that move to be toward the front of this field.
Being the preseason clash, you don't want to be too greedy by any means, but again, it's such a good opportunity to kick off the season on a high note and try to start building that momentum early.
Absolutely. There's obviously no points on the line here, but momentum is something that is one of those intangible factors that you love to have on your side starting out a fresh season, especially in this car. It's definitely going to be a confidence booster for whoever walks away here at P1 tonight.
70 machine of Aaron Smith in a great spot right now. He's been up at the front of the field the entire time for the 28 laps that we have been through so far. Ryan Jones right in the picture. Justin Wilson, Braxton DeWeese have not seemed to have left the top 5, at least not for long. Robert Probst, Chris Smith, Ryan Hinkle, Laura Wiseman, Jay Heischman, and Dan Berg will round out the top 10. Johnny Rapp, Brian Probst, Jay Leach, Tom Lickert, Paul Thomas, James Danforth, Steve Vest, Peter Stewart, Jacob Phillips, Ryan Rose, and Scotty Sobzik will make up the rest of the field. Pace car down into turn 3. We're getting to the back half of the race. Do you expect the excitement to pick up? Do we see these drivers start to make those crazy moves from this point on?
I don't know how crazy we get, but the intensity is certainly going to pick up here in the next 10 or 12 laps, I would imagine, as they get into the late stages of this one. So I would keep my eyes peeled. Do not turn away.
For the third restart tonight, Aaron Smith in control on the top. A late jump in the zone, but it's a good one as he gets out ahead by about 2 car lengths. Ryan Jones, Justin Wilson will be forced to battle out for P2. Jones on the bottom, Wilson on the top. A lot of speed on the top line for Wilson. He'll be able to pinch that 91 down to the bottom. Doesn't quite get the run that he needs. Braxton DeWeese falls in behind on the top, as does the rest of the field behind pretty well. A couple side-by-side battles outside of the top 10. Side-by-side again up here in the top 5. Ryan Jones and Chris Smith going at it for P4.
Yeah, what a jump by Aaron Smith there to be able to take a command over the lead there, as Justin Wilson had a lot of speed, makes the move on the bottom. We have a new leader.
Smith almost looked like he was setting up for that over-under move on the exit, but he's going to get a little bit stepped out on the exit of turn 2. Braxton Weiss does the same. There we go. There's that single file line getting longer and longer coming down the backstretch. Robert Probst and Berg switching it up back and forth for P9. There it is, that Kellogg's number 5. Holding back Laura Wiseman for the 6th position. Ryan Hinkle laying in wait, just hoping for an opportunity to get around. So we're going to have a car high up on the track there. We're getting into the wall out of turn 2 as well.
Yeah, a little spark, a little smoke there on the exit of turn number 2.
Single file through the top 5. We got a side-by-side battle a little bit further back. Got Wiseman. Looks like Hinkle down there on the bottom, the Mountain Dew car. We've got the 11 of Brian Probst looking to shoot for the middle. Aaron Smith gets back to the bottom of Justin Wilson. DeWeese follows suit. Doesn't get the arc out of the corner. Will not get the run down the backstretch. He's going to have to hold it here on the side draft, but he's losing that battle as Chris Smith gets to the outside, nearly into the back bumper of Wilson. Smith holding on for dear life, trying to get a run, and he'll get clear of DeWeese across the front stretch.
This battle is not over. It is just heating up. These leaders have a mirror full of one another here right now as we watch them all try to make the move to get that track position. 33 of 50 in the book. Time will start running out.
You can see that ideal racing line in turns 1 and 2 start to form up. Almost the entire field electing to take a later entry and a later apex, trying to maximize the speed off of the corner. That's exactly how you have to drive this car if you want to be successful. Is look at these top 3, nose to tail, no room in between. Wilson shoots to the bottom. He'll get clear of Aaron Smith again, but most importantly, this gives him an opportunity to learn how Aaron Smith will be trying to make that late race move for the win. So this gives Wilson a great chance to learn how to block it.
Yeah, Wilson and Smith going back and forth here just a little bit at a time. Wilson able to clear him on 2 there, understanding exactly how much room Smith is going to give him too, as Aaron Smith has been dominating, takes a peek out to the left here. He'll get on the bottom of the track here as they enter turns 1 and 2.
Look to the inside is going to stick, but nearly contact with Wilson on the outside. Smith has to lift out of it. Wilson's going to get the better run off the corner. Now Chris Smith going to look to close the door. Braxton Weiss even going to follow. Aaron Smith might be at risk of falling out of the top 3 here if he can't find that momentum back.
Yeah, Aaron Smith has to be feeling a little bit of pressure here inside the car as he's looking for a life ring as these drivers on the top line, Chris Smith, Justin Wilson, getting huge runs. And there it is, the 70 slips back up into the 4th position.
Oh, the 11 goes around. The 2 involved. Big hits for both drivers. One more gets in there. I think that's the 42 of Paul Thomas.
Oh, man.
My, oh, my. Ryan Probst with a big hit.
Yeah, lots of damage there.
Front and back bumper both missing. We'll take it back here to the instant replay. Sal, you've been pretty good about breaking these down so far. I'd say we stick with the theme. Take it away.
Absolutely. Looks like the 11 just searching for some of that speed. This is what happens at this point of the race. Oh, but it's the 2. The 2 just absolutely freight train in the 11 there, trying to get a deeper run like we had talked about, right? You know, you're going to try to like raise that apex up, take more speed into the corner, not really maybe expecting the 11 to back off the entry there as much at this stage of this race, and just gets into the back of them, sends them both around.
I will say that rear spoiler on this car does seem to be quite tall, so it's hard to see around the back end of this car. It's already quite wide as well whenever you're tucked up underneath the rear bumper. Maybe I'm thinking that 2 of Jay Leach just couldn't quite see what was going on in front of the 11, as there was a little bit of a stack up there. The 11 almost got into the 88. Here we go. We're going to bring it down pit road one more time here.
Well, it looks like we've got some gamblers here making some moves here, deciding to stay out. A few more takers deciding to stay out, as the majority of the field looked like they were coming down pit road. Strategy calls, nothing short of exciting here at Michigan in this Clash race.
Got Aaron Smith out there. James Danforth stays out. Ryan Rose stays out. Jacob Phillips and Scotty Sobzik look to stay out. Braxton Weiss will be the first one off pit road. 9.3 in the box, so that is right side tires only for the 8 machine. I like that call.
Smart call.
That is a very good call. Justin Wilson will be the first driver on 4 tires. Chris Smith, Rye Jones, Robert Brobst, Dan Berg. There's a little bit of a shake-up through the field. A couple drivers flip-flopping spots. Man, I really, really like that call from the 8. Those right side tires, you know, we've got very few laps left. We had very few laps completed on that set of tires. Only 16 since the last pit stop. The inside tires don't wear nearly as bad as the outsides do.
Yeah, and if you're going to take a chance, that is the most calculated chance to take versus maybe staying out on all 4 older tires like some of these drivers here at the front, Smith, Danforth, and Rose, have elected to do. It'll be a choice. It'll be interesting to see how much speed DeWeese has. He's been in the mix toward the front of this field all night long, and this strategy call could be one that gives him just enough edge to break into that top 3 and beyond.
Sal, I don't know if you might have done any research on last season at all, but you know, being a part of it, that's one thing I can say I really hope to see. The strategies biting Braxton Weiss more times than not last season. Would love to see that call and that script just get completely flipped here. You know, it might not be a points race, but a race win is a race win. And that is such a confidence booster. I think the 8 needs that right now. Kick off the season on a high note.
Absolutely. And even more than winning, I mean, it's going to give him this opportunity. Like you said, he's had some issues with strategy calls. Well, let's try something different. Let's learn and let's evolve this year from maybe some unfortunate things that happened last season, but take those learnings and get yourself up to the front here and making the right choices to be in a position to win. And I don't know, from my seat, I think Braxton Deweese has done just that.
We'll see how it pays off. We'll see how it pays off for Aaron Smith, James Danforth, Ryan Rose, Scotty Sobczyk on 19-lap old tires. The rest of them at 17. Jacob Phillips with only 12 up in the top 5. Pace car is going to dip down to pit lane one more time. Let's see if we can take it to lap 50 from here. To start lap 40, Aaron Smith in control on the bottom this time. Gets a good jump from there. Leaves row 3 in the dust. 78 of Ryan Jones to the inside of James Danforth for P2. Side by side right behind with Sobczyk.
We're 3 wide, too.
Phillips.
At some points of this.
4 wide. There it is. 4 wide at Michigan off turn 2.
How they were able to keep
it
that
together.
Oh, my goodness.
That was incredible. That's back there for the 6th position. 7th position, Ryan Jones, Braxton Deweese, Chris Smith, Jacob Phillips. That was incredible off that restart. 4 wide off turn 2, and we're going to keep it green. Coming around here, Aaron Smith still in the lead. Ryan Jones not quite, or Ryan Rose not quite close enough to keep the pressure on. So Aaron Smith going to do his best to hold that position as Ryan Jones gets into the door of Sobczyk, I believe, on the outside. Or possibly Deweese. Yeah, a lot of similar paint schemes here tonight, actually.
A lot of purple. A lot of dark door numbers, I'll tell you that. As I'm watching the 58 of Justin Wilson, was leading this race earlier. 4 laps on these tires. He is making some moves up here in the top 5 to try to get that edge. This is the time you want to see your new tires come to life if you came to pit road last time around, and it is what is happening for that 58 of Justin Wilson.
It was a bold call from Aaron Smith to stay out on those older tires. Wilson now a shark in the water.
Oh, yeah.
He has moved up a lot from that restart. 3 wide right behind him. It's going to happen times 2 on corner exit.
Here comes Deweese,
Let's get
too.
sorted out before.
Deweese making a great pass there on a couple of cars on the exit of turn 4 there. Takes himself from right around 6th. Right back up to 4th. Oh. We have a caution. Somebody in the wall there as they were getting into turn 1. Not quite sure who that was. We'll take a look.
Looks like Ryan Hinkle, Jay Leach involved, a couple more. The 11 of Brobst again.
Yeah, a couple of repeat customers here. That's unfortunate.
Oh, Jacob Phillips might be involved in this one. Oh, big hits. That was a lot to unpack there. That happened, it seemed to start a little bit earlier than anticipated. Up on that high line. There's how the Hinkle machine got involved. I believe it starts with Brobst and Leach again. No, Leach is a little bit further back.
It looked like that 56 was starting to get a little bit out of shape there, and maybe something happened where it was reactionary to what these drivers had seen happening with him in front.
Johnny Rapp got loose. The 56 was reacting to it. And then just gets ran over by Brian Brobst, not able to get on the brakes soon enough to avoid that one. Again, we're heading into that corner doing upwards of, at this point, well, fresh tires right back up to 190 plus.
Yeah, tough to tap the brake and expect a ton to happen in a situation like that where you need to go from 190 some odd to 0 in a real hurry to avoid some of these incidents, and just not what you want, but unfortunate situation for all those drivers there. They'll head down pit road. I'm sure interesting to see if any of those guys saved their fast repairs. A few repeat customers in there that have been banged up at other stages of this race tonight. Only 5 laps to go here as we have really drawn in to the very, very end of this Clash race. And I mean, we've had it all from top to bottom here as Aaron Smith, that 70 machine, started up front and is up front still.
It's hard to get that 70. If he can start on that front row, it's hard to remove him from that front row. Always fast. And again, you can always head over to the rest of the YouTube channel here on Slingshot TV, Slingshot Racing Media. Aaron Smith puts on some excellent tutorials on how to drive this car. I think maybe even just recently uploading one for Michigan, in fact. So a little bit of an advantage maybe in the corner of Aaron Smith.
I mean,
But, you know, it comes with the territory. You put in the work, you get the benefits.
Absolutely. And understanding how to drive this car and being able to implement that out on the track, having the time to put in and practice and get that little bit of edge, just goes to show there's a reason he's been out front for the majority of this race. So hard work put in and results well deserved thus far, as it'll still be a fight. The 58 of Justin Wilson and the 8 of Braxton DeWeese there will be right behind the 70 and the 78, who are out 24 laps since their last pit cycle. The 58 and the 8 there only on 8-lap old tires. So we'll see how it factors in.
Johnny Rapp did not pick up enough damage for him to use that fast repair, so that's still in the back pocket. Jacob Phillips did get back down to pit road, use that his fast repair remaining. I believe the Ryan Hinkle electing to stay on pit road, maybe didn't have that fast repair box checked. He still has it available according to my information, but still on pit road now, 2 laps down. So it's an interesting mix. We've got 2 drivers on the front row, 24 laps on these tires, 8 laps on the tires from 4th or 3rd place all the way back to 10th. And then from 10th on, a lot of drivers just came down and got fresh tires again. I don't think there's enough time in this race to see anybody from the back of the pack work their way up here, even with that advantage. We're down through turn 3 and 4 once more. Aaron Smith on the bottom, Ryan Rose on the top, Justin Wilson looking to stay hooked onto the back bumper of Aaron Smith for this restart. Pace car comes down. Geico restart zone coming up. Green flag in the air. Let's take it to lap 50. Aaron Smith with another big jump immediately moves up to the top line after clearing the start-finish line. Ryan Jones looks to the inside of Justin Wilson down into turn 1. 3 wide there for the 3rd spot. Jones backs out of it. DeWeese holds on to that top line, gets the move done around Wilson, but does he have enough to get it done around Rose? Aggressive move to the inside. And he's got it. 1 more to go for the 8, and then he's going to have to hold off that 58 of Justin Wilson if he can get around Aaron Smith.
And Wilson, but Rose looking to make an aggressive move back down behind Wilson there. Doesn't want to lose that spot to DeWeese. DeWeese still able to keep it rolling here, though, as he goes door to door here with the 58. Looking to find a way around Aaron Smith. Not an easy task. No small feat, as the 58 and the 8 are coming in a hurry.
You can see Aaron Smith playing this very strategically, working both lines, trying to keep them both even behind him, and then keeping DeWeese trapped up on the wall. Big contact on the front stretch. That should... It doesn't bring out the caution. Ryan Jones hits the pit wall, but we're going to stay green as he is off into the grass, off the racing surface. Back up at the front, still got the battle going for second place. Wilson and DeWeese. Either one of these drivers has the advantage to get around Aaron Smith. And the dive to the inside. DeWeese goes for it.
Oh, man. Oh, gonna have to make it stick down here.
Can he get the spot? He doesn't. A little bit loose off an exit. He's going to lose that ground, but stays side by side. White flag in the air. The Whiplash Sim Cams, 1 to go, and it's a heated battle. The top 4 all under a blanket. Chris Smith doesn't want to let it go easily. Wilson right there. DeWeese in the lead. Aaron Smith holds on to the outside. Contact with the wall behind. It's going to be the push. DeWeese gets sideways. Justin Wilson hooked up. Collects Chris Smith. DeWeese completely sideways. Aaron Smith gets away scot-free. Scotty Sobczyk recovers and takes home P2 in the clash. The battle's on for third. Laura Wiseman. Wiseman gets third.
Oh, my goodness. What a shake up there to finish this one off. Chasing that checkered flag, Aaron Smith. What a scene that must have been behind him there, but a lot of drivers making up position as the aggression levels were at an all-time high here. Looking to make that pass for the lead. Oh man, DeWeese and Smith are going to wish they had that one back.
DeWeese, Smith, and Wilson will all be looking to have that one back. Scotty Sobczyk, Laura Wiseman, they make the better of it and round out our podium. Aaron Smith, our winner of the clash here for the stand-up fight series at Michigan. He's going to burn it down here for the fans. We're going to take it to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with our post-race show, interviews with our top 3, and our final results. Stick around. You don't want to miss it. And we are back live at Michigan. What a race finish we had. It was a 4-horse race until it wasn't. Aaron Smith comes out victorious. Let's take a look at the rest of our results. Scotty Sobczyk able to get around the carnage ahead, takes home P2. Laura Wiseman follows suit, looking to start off this season on a very high note for a P3 finish. The 88 of James Danforth takes home P4. Robert Probst in the 5 gets 5th. The 56 of Jacob Phillips takes home 6th, with Johnny Rapp in the 52 in 7th. Braxton DeWeese, after getting wrapped up there in turn 3 on the final lap, the 8 takes home 8th. Jay Heishman gets 9th in the 06, and Peter Stewart rounds out the top 10. Tom Lickert in the 99 takes home 11th on the night. Paul Thomas in the 42 gets 12th. Steve Vest in the 60 takes home 13th, with Dan Berg behind in 14th with the 17 machine. The 78 of Ryan Rose saw him wrapped up a couple times tonight, ends up recovering, finishes 15th. Chris Smith goes from glory to nothing up in the top 3 all the way back to 16th in turn 3 on the final lap. The 58 of Justin Wilson, same story there, finishes up 17th right behind Smith. Rye Jones in the 91 gets a little bit of an early exit, down 2 laps, but I think actually did finish it out on the track in 18th. Brian Brobst in the 11 does make an early exit, takes home 19th, and Ryan Hinkle in the 21 rounds out the top 20. Jay Leach in the 2 will be our last and final driver of the night, also with an early exit, just moments before we saw the 5 to go, I believe, for Leach. Well, Sal, we had one heck of a race, but the folks have heard enough of our voices. What do you say we start having some interviews with our top 3?
Oh, I can hear them banging on the door from here. Why don't we let them in and start chatting with them and understand how this one unfolded for these drivers?
We absolutely might as well. We're going to start off with our 3rd place finisher, Laura Wiseman in the 84 machine. We'll get her up in the broadcast booth here. There we go, Laura Wiseman. You've got Sal and Logan up here in the booth. You got a copy driver.
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, you had a rather quiet night for the 84 machine until all of a sudden it wasn't, and you come home with a P3 finish. Walk me through that last couple of laps. What was going through your head as you were in a good position for a good finish already, and then the doors just opened up for a podium?
Yeah, I did not anticipate that. Coming to the white flag, I was just focused on trying to hold off Scotty, but his tires are too fresh, and so I just did what I could. I was like, okay, well, I'll just come home 7th or 8th, and it'd be a good start to the season. Then all of a sudden, nearly everybody in front of me wrecked. I don't know what happened. I just tried to find the clear track, and lo and behold, here I am in 3rd. I don't know how the heck that happened.
All you have to do is just point the nose of the car in the direction that you hope to go and hope no other car ends up there, right? So you did a great job of doing exactly that. And, it was an interesting race. We ended up having 5 cautions on the night, and we had some good green flag runs throughout it. How is this car out there driving? We know it's a new setup for everybody here in the Slingshot Racing League.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. It was a blast to drive. You can kind of, with so much horsepower, you can kind of choose to drive off the right front or the right rear, just depending on what you want to do. And with that, it's also a beast to get tame off the corners as well. I got into the wall a couple times there. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this setup. It was a lot of fun racing.
Well, we've got 12 more weeks of it coming up. The Clash just kicking it off. Laura Wiseman, congratulations on P3. Happy to have you up here. I'm sure you got somebody watching to say thanks to.
Yeah, hello to my family and friends at home. My mom is probably watching right now. Anybody else watching, everybody who is supporting this league, thank you very much, and thank you for having me. Got to shout out Panda Pink, and hopefully it's the start of things to come.
Well, you're starting off on the right foot. Hopefully that momentum will continue. Again, congratulations, Laura. We'll see you as we get through the rest of the schedule.
All right, I'll see you. Take it easy, y'all.
Is all for Laura Wiseman, and I believe, Sal, you've gotten an opportunity to get down to pit lane, start catching up with our 2nd place finisher, Scotty Sobczyk.
Scotty, what a run for you here, especially in the late stages of this one here tonight. Can you just walk us through a little bit of what happened there at the end that got you up here in the booth, a P2 finish here at Michigan?
Yeah, I wish I had a good, concise answers for you, but all I know is I was on fresh tires trying to make my way up through the 20-car deficit or whatever it was, and it was kind of like the whole seas parting or the clouds clearing, and then fresh track in front of me besides Aaron. So pretty unlucky at the very beginning, getting crushed out of this thing and a couple laps down, and then maybe the luck came back in my favor at the end of it. So I suppose it all works out. Yeah,
the door swings both ways. We saw you run up front here early on in this race. everybody getting adjusted to this car this year. Is there anything new you learned out here tonight in the Clash that you can take forward with you, whether it's setup or just understanding better ways to run this car? We've heard, Laura talked about a little bit of running off the right front or the right rear or wherever she felt comfortable. Where do you feel comfortable in this car?
Yeah, I think it's tough because the setups are going to be a little bit different track to track, and not a whole lot of advanced knowledge on that of how it's going to drive. So, I thought the setup was pretty good. I haven't really tried the default one or have nothing to compare it against, but it's definitely a balancing act whether you are driving on the right front or the right rear, and I think saving the right rear towards the end of it was kind of the way to go here. But at the same time, you had 5 cars stay out and not take tires under one of those later pit cycles, and they were able to hold off the new tires for a couple laps. So could be track dependent on how they wear. I really don't know, but we'll find out.
Well, definitely lots to learn and lots to pay attention to, but a great finish for you here, second on the night. Anybody special out there you got to thank who might be watching on the stream?
Yeah, if Alex is upstairs and Baby Junebug watching on TV, and teammates, Placeholder Racing, I know only a couple of us were out here, and me and Aaron today, and I actually hung out with some of the other guys at Steve and Paul and the folks over there at ST2. So shout out to them for letting me in their channel, and to Chris for inviting me over there. And yeah, we'll look forward to next week and get the season going.
Awesome way to start things off with a P2, Scotty. We appreciate you coming up and giving us some time here in the booth, and good luck the rest of this year.
I appreciate it. Talk to you guys hopefully next week. Thanks.
Well, that'll do it for P2, and we have just one more to go. It's a name you all know and love. We're all too familiar with him up here in the booth. It's our race winner, our Clash winner, season opener winner, Aaron Smith. How you doing, buddy?
I'm feeling fantastic. How are y'all doing?
Doing great ourselves. You put on one heck of a show here tonight. You were in the lead for, 4/5 of the race. 40 laps led for you. You didn't have a whole lot happening, but there is a lot going on in the rearview mirror. Now, I hate to repeat questions in these interviews, but I have to know what that last lap was like for you. It was a all-out battle there for those top 3 spots, and you obviously coming out in the better half of it, and your competition there, Deweese, Wilson, and Smith, all falling way back in the field.
Yeah, I went into turn 1 there with Braxton on my inside and figured that I'd be in trouble. So I slid up a little further up the track than I was used to with those tires, and the car stuck. Like, I didn't hit the wall out of turn 2 or anything, but I saw Braxton get the run on the inside with Justin behind him, and I guess they made contact, and suddenly I was pinned up against the wall trying not to get spun out. But it took out everybody but me, and it all played into my lap there, so I'll certainly take it.
Oh, one of the things I had noticed you were doing as well there, it's always impressive to watch you and pick up on the little things that, it's hard to see in most cases, but the blocking ability, the control of both lanes when you had that advantage over Deweese and Wilson as they were battling for P2 behind you, bouncing back and forth, helping one driver out to keep them even, and then keeping, I believe it was Deweese, locked in on the wall, not able to make a move, stuck to the outside of Wilson. Are we expecting to see more of that through this season?
I think there are only 2 races where that's going to be an issue. Like, the draft is way too strong in these cars for some reason, but we have, I think it's Indianapolis and Auto Club on the schedule, and those are the only 2 tracks where the draft is going to be a major factor. Well, aside from Talladega and Daytona, that's par for the course. But yeah, those should be the only races where that'll be a problem. And the rest of them should be ones to watch, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, Aaron, we hope to see you as the schedule continues. I know you're a big fan of these Gen 4 cars, so I expect a couple more appearances as we go through it, and likely a couple more of the following question. Aaron Smith, congratulations on your race win here in the Clash. Who do you have to say thanks to?
Well, I don't have my cue card for all the sponsors of the championship yet, but yeah, I'd like to thank the folks at Slingshot for putting on another season, the folks at Stand Up Fight Series for coming on as the title sponsor, and all the folks in the field for putting on a great race, y'all for broadcasting, and all the folks for watching. Looking forward to getting back at it at Daytona in a week's time.
Absolutely. Daytona in these cars is going to be a blast. Congratulations again. Good luck next week. We will see you later, Aaron.
10-4. Thank y'all.
Well, that'll do it for all of our interviews up here in the top 3. You heard it. This car is a favorite, and I think the schedule going forward is going to be a favorite as well. Kicking it off with Daytona next week. Sal, what were your thoughts about tonight here in Michigan, and what are your thoughts about next week, kicking it off at the Super Speedway for points?
Well, what a race we got to see tonight. A real treat, a preview, a window into what we can come to expect here in these cars at these types of tracks. I mean, these competitors are ready to roll. I think all these guys and girls learned a lot about one another out here on the track tonight. For those who didn't know, or those who were uninitiated, it's a fresh season, but maybe there's some things that they'll have to work out here on track. Daytona is going to be something to see. These cars, like we had talked about earlier in the broadcast, unless you give it a push exactly the right way, squared up exactly perfect, it is going to be difficult to control. The push, don't push, the pusher, be the pushy, however you want to break it down. Going to have to make some friends out there, stay in the draft, and these cars are going to be a blast on the high banks of Daytona.
That they are. That's going to do it for the show tonight here. The stand-up fight clash at Michigan. Next week's time, we'll be taking it right down to the sunny beaches of Daytona. It'll be the same place, same time, just a different track. For everybody behind the scenes at the Slingshot Racing League, all the admins that put in all the work to make this happen, and of course, everybody behind the scenes here at Slingshot TV. I've been Logan Threlkeld alongside. We've got Sal Nicosia and Kobe Jordan. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Be sure to check it out next week when we get right back to it as the points battle begins. You're not going to want to miss this season. It's going to be fun, just like Sal said, and you will have your regular season host right back here, Sky Shrek. Looking forward to seeing you back up here. Good night, everybody.